Hi, this is how I would run a read aloud on the book Christopher Columbus for a pre-kindergarten class. The questions I'm going to use with the graphic organizer are: what is happening in the story? How is Columbus feeling about his trip? And how are the sailors feeling about the trip? Hello, class. Today we're going to read a book about Christopher Columbus. Does anyone know who Christopher Columbus was? I would ask. Why don't you turn to your friend and discuss with them who Christopher Columbus was? Wow, very good. So Christopher Columbus was an explorer, I would say. Okay, now let's move on. Who knows what an explorer is? What is it? To explore new things. I could also ask, what have you explored? Excellent. Let's begin reading the book called Christopher Columbus. This book is going to talk about Columbus's famous trip when he discovers new land. It was August 3rd, 1492. A new day begins. In a busy Spanish harbor, three ships, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, are starting out to sea. Someday, these ships will be famous. People will know their names 500 years later. But the men on board cannot even imagine that. They are afraid of getting lost. The ocean is a great mystery. How big is it? How long will it take to cross it? What is on the other side? Will they ever get back to Spain? We would stop here and talk about the ocean. How big do you think the ocean is? How big the ocean? How big is the ocean? I would ask. Do you think it's very deep? Do you think it's very long? Do you think it's how far do you think it might be? All these different types of questions I would stop to ask. Christopher Columbus is not afraid of getting lost. He is the captain of the Santa Maria and the leader of the voyage. I would stop also to discuss what the word voyage means. Columbus knows a lot about the sea. He is a navigator and a map maker. Let's stop for a second, class. What's a navigator? What's a map maker, we would ask and talk about to discuss the following words: navigator and map maker. Now he dreams of becoming an explorer too. I would also stop for a second and look at for a minute or two, and stop and look at our graphic organizer. What is happening now in our story? How is Columbus feeling about his trip so far? And not only how is Columbus feeling, how are the sailors feeling about the trip? And then continue. The rulers of Spain, Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand, believe in Columbus. They are paying for his trip. Columbus promises to find a new route from Spain to the Far East. India, China, Japan, the Indians, lands of gold and valuable spices. If he succeeds, Spain will be rich. We would stop here and also discuss the word valuable. What does the word valuable mean, class? Columbus knows the world is round. Why not travel to the Far East by sailing west? But the world is bigger than Columbus thinks. Let's stop for a minute again. The world is round. I would ask, what does that mean, round? How big and far do you think the world is? And there is something else Columbus doesn't know. 2 huge continents lie in his way. Nobody in Europe knows they are there. Oh, perfect. Continents. What's a continent? How many continents do we have? Do people live on continents? Soon the sailors cannot see land. Now they are really afraid. What if the wind stops blowing? The ships have no motors. What if there's a storm? Let's stop for a minute. What's happening here in the story now? To the class. How is Columbus feeling about his trip? Columbus in particular. What about the sailors now? I don't think they feel the same way as Columbus. They probably feel a little bit more nervous, concerned. The ships are small and made only of wood. What if they run out of food? They cannot go back for more. What if they are in danger? They cannot radio for help. Radio. Oh, we would discuss the concept of radios and even like how we would radio for help now. But the weather is good. The wind blows steadily. The sea is calm. The ships are loaded with food and water. The extra sails and spare wood, in fact, so much is stored below. The sailors must sleep on the deck. And then again, we would go back now also to our graphic organizer. What's going on in the story? I would ask. How does Columbus feel about this? And how are the sailors feeling about this trip? Are they nervous, concerned, worried? This is the way I would start presenting my book on Christopher Columbus to a kindergarten class. Hope you enjoyed.